Hello everyone and welcome. First of all, thank you for taking an interest in media. In this presentation, we'll aim to look at the course that we offer here at the Whitby High School, the content of that course, and the types of things it can lead to. So what type of person might want to take this course? Well, learners studying in preparation for employment in the media industry, so if you wanted to go straight into employment, learners wishing to gain a level 3 qualification to support further study either in FE or HE, as in higher education in a media studies qualification, or learners wishing to just gain a level 3 qualification to support further study, whether that's FE or HE, in any other sector or subject. So the course, or the name of the course that we offer, is the OCR Level 3 Cambridge Technical, and we offer the extended diploma in that course. So what type of person might be interested in taking a digital media course such as this? Well, I think the first and most important thing is that you enjoy being creative. I think if you think back to your IT and media lessons from year 7 all the way up to year 11, if you took it that far, you really found a lot of interest in things like video editing, graphic design tasks, desktop publishing tasks, then you'll definitely find interest in this course. You have an interest in film, TV, social media, magazines, comics and radio. Not necessarily all of them things, but certainly some of them. You're interested in wanting to learn about graphic design, maybe film editing, if we decide to choose that unit later on, and publication for print, such as creating an industry standard magazine. You may also find some interest in learning the theoretical side, such as audience theory, targeting a film for a particular audience, looking at what a film really means or what an advert really means, planning, research and various other things you'd be expected to do if you were to go and do this as a profession. And finally, you gain enjoyment from working on creative projects in your own time. So we equip you with the skills and the knowledge, and you like going away and working either on your own or maybe part of a small team to go and do something like create a publication for print, that kind of thing. Okay, continuing on from that, if you've undertaken media in year 9 or 10 and 11 and enjoyed it, then I definitely think you will find a lot of enjoyment out of this course. You don't necessarily have to have taken IT or media at GCSE level, but it does help in this case. So what is the course worth? Well, it carries similar UCAS points as A-levels depending on the grade. You can see that a distinction star is worth the same as an A star at A-level, and thus it carries the same amount of UCAS points. A distinction is an A, a merit a C, and a pass an E. And you'll notice that there isn't the equivalent of a B and a D grade. That's just the way the vocational courses work. So the way this course is structured, there are 6 units over the 2 years. You will sit 3 in year 12 and 3 in year 13. And we'll talk more about these in due course, but you can see in year 12 there is an examined-based unit. There is a unit centred around planning a media pitch, and there's a unit centred around creating a media product, and that might be a video or a magazine depending on what route we choose to go down that year. In year 13 there are 2 more coursework units, one focused around creating media for advertising and one focused around creating a media profile, and there is a second exam around the concepts of pre-production and planning. So let's have a look at the 2 exam-based units. In year 12 you will typically sit the first unit, which is unit 1, media products and audiences, and this unit aims to develop an understanding of how the different industries operate, so the radio industry, the TV industry and the print industry. And what we'll do is we'll look at how we can do deep analysis on different products from each of them industries. We'll also learn a lot about target audiences. For the second exam, which is unit 2, we focus more on pre-production, the pre-production element. So that's all about planning, so researching and planning meticulously how to create a media product, and all of the research that obviously goes into that. We'll look at client requirements and look at many different scenarios in the real world on how a particular media product is aimed at an audience. So if you're interested, just a couple of questions here right off the bat from each of the examined units. You can see on the left we've got one from the Media Products and Audiences unit, and on the right one from Unit 2, the Pre-Production unit. So you can pause this video and have a little read of that if you are wondering, well, what type of things might they ask me in the exam? Okay, let's have a look at the next two coursework units then. So Unit 3, which will typically be sat in Year 12, and this will be creating some sort of media product. So it will depend what product we decide to use that year. So typically so far it's been a magazine, and what we would get you to do is plan, design and create a industry standard magazine. So not the type of thing you would have done in Year 9, 10 or even 11. We'll be looking at new software in this case, and we'll learn an array of skills in the Adobe suite, particularly Adobe Photoshop, and we'll learn industry standard skills so we can create that real high level magazine that looks like it would fit in on a supermarket shelf next to all of the other magazines. The next unit is Unit 21, and this is planning a media pitch. And in this one, you propose and pitch an idea for a media product. So if you've ever seen The Dragon's Den, think of that. And this is the type of thing we'll be getting you to do. So there's many different types of products that could be. Obviously in film, radio, TV or magazine. You'll need to show how the end product might look, but not necessarily go on to develop it. And it allows for a lot of freedom of ideas because the sky is the limit really in terms of how far-fetched your media product might be. So a really fun unit and one that's really exciting to undertake. Okay, so the next two units, starting with Unit 20, this one's called Advertiser Media, again 100% coursework, and you'll plan and undertake an advertising campaign for a product or service. So you'll come up with your idea for a particular product, and then you'll look at how you can do a complete media campaign surrounding that product. So it might be social media, TV, radio, magazine, all the ways you can advertise and get that out there. You'll produce original media components to implement to your campaign. So there is a very practical element once more in terms of graphic design, potentially video design and so on. And then finally, a really useful unit, and this one's creating a media profile. And the reason I say this is really useful is because you'll create a web-based profile of all of the practical work you've done in this qualification. And the reason that's so good is because if you decide to go on and apply for an apprenticeship, or you go straight out there and try and apply for a job, of which we've had many students do, you can show them this online-based portfolio as a really accessible and easy way for prospective employers to go and look at all the amazing work that you will have done. So some of the software, some but not all, that you'll use / need, we don't expect you to have to purchase any of this. This will be provided for you in school. So we'll still use the Serif suite that we've become accustomed to, but we'll use many more advanced programs such as Adobe Photoshop, which I've mentioned. We'll look at using Sony Vegas for editing videos and several more of the Adobe products, so maybe InDesign and various other from the Adobe suite. And then I've included Word and PowerPoint in there because that's what you'll do a lot of your research in terms of writing up. So we've got a still here, and what this shows is a previous student's work, and when we decided to do the film-based product for Unit 3, this was the result of that, and this student went away and using the skills that we'd looked at and developed in class, she shot the video from scratch, she edited it herself, provided the background music and all the effects, and she produced an industry standard production that, again, as I've said previously, was almost indistinguishable with the type of thing that you might see on TV. In this slide, we've got some examples of previous magazines students have completed, and these are not screenshots from Google. Everything that you are looking at was created from scratch by our own students using the skills we'd taught them in Photoshop and various other programs in the Adobe suite. And you can see the sort of the high level we keep talking about, where I think you'll agree that many of these magazines are almost indistinguishable from the type of magazine you'd pick up from a supermarket shelf. So what can this course lead to? Well, we've had a former pupil who went on to work for a fashion company in Liverpool, and she managed all of their social media, such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc., including their website. So she was responsible for creating the majority of that content. We've had several pupils go on to undertake a media-based degree and have successful careers in the media industry. And we've had other pupils accepted onto media-based apprenticeships, which are becoming increasingly common, and they've gone on to enjoy success on such apprenticeships. If you've got any questions about undertaking media in sixth form, then please do come and see either myself, Mr. Grant, or Miss Davies at any point, and we can hopefully answer them questions in more detail.